collecting really awesome figures on a budget is impossible. No, like actually it is. Chances are, if it's a character you want and the figure's of a high quality, its aftermarket price reflects that. Awesome clone commander, 3 figures at least. Fun anniversary character, that price is already starting to creep up. So why this video? The title sounds very to the contrary of the reality in the intro. Well, laid out in front of you are the 5 figures that made me change my perspective on this. Just as I was, you'll be surprised just how far £5 will get you. Some details ahead are just insane. Part 1 of this was focusing on design. Trying to aim for popular characters immediately was going to kill this for me, and return me to the Hyperion of the intro. I had to get digging, and kick the rabid Clone Wars fan out of the room. Here is what I unearthed. We start this list off with an appetizer, the Elite Praetorian Guard, a great evolution of the Royal Guard and one of the better designs to come out of the sequel era. This is also pre-gourmet, just paint it red. Sith Trooper. I'm talking about the Sith Trooper. How many layers of derivative are we? Anyway. The all red minifigure is fun, and I do mean all red. It's a plain red head under all that armor, which is a fun choice. I feel it could have just been the standard issue black head and done the same job. Speaking of that armor, we come to the highlight. I really like that custom molded helmet, and the choice of shoulder armor helps complete this unique look. The printing is also pretty good. You can visibly see the armor clad in all those robes, finishing off the regal look of the Praetorian. The hip printing nicely transitions the torso print to the leg print. The only criticism I could levy is the printing would benefit from some additional contrast, just to further highlight the distinction between the robes and the armor beneath them. Some cloth accessories would have also been great to see and would have fit so well, but the printing we got looks reasonable enough. Hey look, obscure sequel figures might not be everyone's bag, but it helped me better hunt for the gold hidden at the bottom of the aftermarket. It's time to let the rabid Clone Wars fan back into the room. Just for this one, I promise. Coming in at number 4, we have the only clone trooper to make this list, the Clone Trooper Commander. It of course uses the newest Phase 1 clone trooper as the base, which never seems to miss. Leading on from that, this minifigure was largely picked because it's the only Phase 1 clone trooper to be under a $5, and this Phase 1 template needed the spotlight. The printing is spot on, all the required details are present, and none are fighting for the spotlight. It looks pretty good. The helmet is styled to look closer to the movie appearance of the clone trooper, and it's pretty spot on. And to top it all off, the legs have a great amount of detail that round out the printing in a great way. All of these elements are of course complemented by the yellow commander markings that cover the figure. We also have a great face print under that Phase 1 helmet, though we haven't gotten a bad clone face print in a while. I think that OG one just continues to scar me. It's worth mentioning that the printing here, minus the yellow, is the exact same as the majority of clone trooper prints that have released recently. Not that it detracts from the figure in front of you, it's just worth noting. Next at number 3, we have an Imperial Scout Trooper, and wow, they did not skimp out on the printing, maybe even to its detriment in some places. Things can get a little cluttered, something directly and smartly addressed by the figure in the number 2 spot, but hey look, we'll get there, let's not jump the gun. There are a couple of these Scout Troopers. This particular example just happened to have been the cheapest on Bricklink. The differences between them are the face print. The face print this version comes with isn't exactly 10 out of 10. Despite all that though, it easily still manages the number 3 spot. Putting the helmet back on, we have an amazing figure. The new Scout Trooper helmet mold is just fantastic. Captures the Scout Trooper look in minifigure form so well. A great mold with good printing to make it that much better. Moving down to the torso, we see all of the required printing to complete a great Scout Trooper, complete with various straps and pockets. We have great hip printing that once again makes for a good transition to the leg print, which also details some straps and pockets. Though I think the legs is where the printing starts getting a little cluttered, and it's hard to make out certain details. Though I don't think it goes too far in that direction to be that big of a problem. At the second place spot, I chose the Mandalorian. Specifically this one in Beskar armor and with the cape. The printing on the Mandalorian seems to be directly addressing my issues with the Scout Trooper. We have dense and detailed printing, but it's also really easy to make out what those details are. From pouches to the bandolier to the belt buckle, the Beskar elements of the print have this great shine to them which allows them to stick out from the rest of the printing, which prevents the elements from getting cluttered. This shine extends to the arm printing. Now, I understand I say this all the time, but arm printing is great to see anywhere, and here it is done so well. You have a great great representation of the Mandalorian's wrist weaponry and even the Mudhorn insignia on his right shoulder, which is just an amazing detail to include on a minifigure. The helmet colour is also something I noticed. It's a perfect shiny metal colour without looking dull, like some shiny Lego colours tend to be. It fits nicely. The only negative I could possibly raise is the helmet print looks quite squished to the bottom of the helmet. The mold is the exact same as all the other Mandalorians, but the face print just looks a little off. But that shouldn't detract from how good this minifigure is overall. Lastly, at that big number 1 spot, we have Darth Vader. It's not the first time I'm gushing over this particular figure, and probably won't be the last, let's be honest. Just spot on from head to toe. Great printing. You really see where the suit ends and the robes begin. The printing is done in such a way where you can tell them apart. The suit parts have a really nice shine to them as well. The helmet comes in 2 pieces, which is one of my favourite details on this minifigure. Don't ask why, I just think this is really cool. Draws from that Return of the Jedi scene where Luke removes his helmet. Having a screen accurate way of disassembling the helmet adds that extra layer of interaction you don't normally see with a minifigure. Otherwise, this minifigure is spot on. 10 out of 10. So that's my list of the 5 best minifigures for under a $5. A tight budget, I know, but I still managed to find 5 amazing figures. Let me know what you think in the comments and whether you would have any other figures on this list. And with all that being said, I'll see you in the next one.